he's wondering whether to hold or sell at this juncture, and if you can provide him with a stop loss.
So yes, Jupiter Wagon, actually we saw overall all rail stocks were beaten up to quite an extent, but and so is the case with Jupiter Wagon. What we saw, the high of around 650 to now at around 450 levels. So my view would be, if time period is not a problem, I think start adding more, because with a longer term perspective, once the stock moves above 520, there will be furthermore conviction for further high move going towards 550 to 600 levels. So I guess just hold on and buy with the stop loss of 400 levels.
All right. Mithilesh, I believe, is tuned in and he's called from Hyderabad. Mithilesh, good morning. I believe you've got a question for us on NTPC Green.
Yes, sir. Good morning, everyone. So I got NTPC Green Energy around 850 stocks at IPO pricing. And what's the, like you said, this has good amount of returns for now. But for long term, should I be holding it, or should I book some profit and wait for it to come down and add more in the dips? Like, what's the strategy for next 2 to 3 years?
That's a good point. We've already taken a fundamental view, Mithilesh, on NTPC Green from Samir, but let me just take this specific question on whether you should take some money off the table. Samir, it's an interesting point, because this is one IPO that has certainly given a pop, and it has already given up a little bit of ground from the high point. So would you suggest taking some money off the table? It's not a very large amount. So is there a significant benefit to taking money off the table and deploying later?
So if the person has a 3-year view, I don't see what's the reason to take money off the table at maybe like a 7% upside, right? Or 10% upside from where they've currently bought it. I think it's a long-term play. I would suggest this is a stock that could get added, but at lower levels. Honestly, if you ask me, I found the IPO slightly on the expensive side. So I would have liked to see the pricing around closer to 90 rupees. So if you get a dip around the 90 rupees, I would say add on. But should you sell? Probably not, because I don't know if we'll get that 90 rupees. And if you are a 3-year investor, which the question is, then I don't see, I mean, I see the stock moving up, quite a bit. So trying to catch the tops and the bottoms is not the right strategy if you're a fundamental long-term investor. So I say stay put.
I'm just pulling numbers out of my memory. Hopefully I'm right, but the pricing of the IPO at 108 was 256 times the FY25 price to earnings, if I remember correctly, which is not cheap, to say the very least. So point well taken, Samir. Question from Vijay, who's writing in from Chennai, and asking about Dr. Reddy's Laboratories from a 6-month perspective. Vaishali, is this a good buy at the current level if you're considering a fresh buy at 1,200 levels?
I'll just have a look.
Yeah. Let's, in fact, while Vaishali is looking at it, let's pull up the longer term charts to see how this is done in the year so far. And it is up about 6%. So like the rest of the pharma pack, in fact, among the larger frontline companies, not having done too much. Vaishali, you have a view?
Yes, I do. So I would say a long-term trend is still intact. Keep a stop loss of 1140. And I mean, overall, I think pharma sector should continue to do well. So I guess from here on, it is a stop loss of 1140 and look for a target of at least 1300 from here on to start with. Once it crosses 1300, we can have a relook, and then we may have a projected target of 1350 to 1400. So for at these levels, I think nothing much to lose. Hold on.
Okay. All right. I'll take one more question, and then Atul is called from Bengaluru. I'll come to you, Atul, in just a bit. But we've got a viewer who has written in asking about BPCL and whether it is a good long-term buy. He's already gotten an average price, I believe, of 300, which is not too far away from the current market price. Do you have a positive view on this, Samir?
So honestly, I'm not a big fan of the oil marketing companies, but also given the fact that refining margins have probably bottomed out and could start moving up. BPCL also has the refining business, which can continue to do well going forward. So the probability is the stock could probably move up closer to the 330 levels in the next 1 year, although that's not our target price. I mean, we still believe we're not very positive on the overall businesses because of one, government interventions that come in from time to time, two, because this business is eventually going to start seeing a decline once the electric vehicle side of the business picks up. So growth may not be as great. It will take time for all of these things to play out. But if you're a long-term investor, I think if you get 330, take your money and get out, find better investments to make, because I don't see long-term growth in the counter. If you're a trader, I mean, I'm sure you can probably trade in and out because the stock is going to move within a range between, I think, 260 to 330.
All right, comprehensive view on BPCL. Hope that answers your question. Atul from Bengaluru has called us. Atul, good morning. You want to know about CDSL and you've bought at 1,440. First of all, is this a long-term buy that you made?
Thanks for taking me in. So CDSL, I bought it just before the bonus is issued, and that it is basically long term. On top of that, if I can add one more,
yes.
I bought Netware Technology, which I bought it at 880. So I'm basically looking for long term. So in case you want to share some views.
We generally, Atul, sorry, but we generally stick to one stock per viewer because of the time constraints here. So let me take a question on CDSL. You wanted to know about Netweb, but there's another question that has come through, so I'll take that probably over the course of the next half an hour or so. CDSL for the long term, bought at levels of 1,440. Samir, on the fundamentals, would you hold on to this? He's handsomely in the green right now.
Well, I think he said he bought it at 1,440 before the bonus issue. So maybe if you do the adjustment of the price, it will probably be even lower. So I think the profits will be even larger.
Yeah.
But having said that, look, this is a business that that doesn't require further capital, right? It's a duopoly business, NSDL and CDSL. Now, there's a lot of talk of the NSDL listing coming in the next 6 months to a year, or even sooner maybe than 6 months, but it's expected in the next year, and that could lead to some amount of de-rating. CDSL is the largest player in the space, and in India, if you ask me, the number of demat accounts are growing and will continue to grow because there will be further investments. Plus, if you talk about the fact that you're going to have insurance moving in, coming into like a demat kind of a format, then to have all of that, you will find new account being opened, which will lead to revenue generation for CDSL, of course. So operational leverage is quite strong. Growth opportunities are quite strong. Where we find a bit of discomfort is valuation. So what could probably happen is the stock could go through a sideways movement to a slight correction. But if you are a long-term investor for 3 years, I say stay, hold on. The valuations will, the earnings will catch up with valuations, and then you could probably have another run also to higher levels. But like I said, only valuation concern, otherwise it would be a buy.
13% just over the last month. Atul, hopefully that answers your question. Ria has got a question on good intraday stocks. Anything that looks attractive to you, if not intraday, then from the shorter term perspective? And there's also a clarification that she has sought on C2C, the SME IPO. Of course, the regulator stepped in, as you know. If you've been on the website NDTVProfit.com, then you will know that the IPO was cancelled, and the regulator has stipulated that the money that has been collected during the IPO process must be given back. So if you have subscribed, you will be getting your money back. Vaishali, on the shorter end of the spectrum, would you see anything that is interesting?
So, well, I would not be so aggressive at this juncture because, first of all, market is vulnerable to, we are approaching the expiry of the future contracts. But having said that, there are few stocks which are technically very well placed, especially today. We have seen a good pickup coming in Exide Industries. Overall, all these battery stocks have taken a good beating. So one of them is Exide. That would be a recommendation. My trading strategy would be with a stop loss of 420, look for a target of 450. Among the cement category, we are seeing Ramco Cement has been an outperformer and it is sustaining above the breakout levels. So have a look at that with a stop loss of 960 and look for a target of 1000. And if he's looking for a slightly positional trade, then I think Maruti and India Mart are they have not performed and they are pretty much close to the bottom. So these make a very favorable risk-reward wise trade as a positional trade. So these would be for a slightly longer period, but the other two, what I mentioned, is for a shorter term.
All right. Thanks so much, Vaishali, for that. Do we have time for one more question before? No, okay. So we have to slip into a very quick break. Vaishali, as well as Samir, do stay with us, and we'll come back to take more questions with you. Viewers, we'll be back after this very quick break. Do stay tuned.
Laurus Labs has seen very aggressive fresh longs on Friday. It has given a very good breakout on intraday charts as well. Plus, there's an option chain breakout above 500 level. So one can buy Laurus Labs on any small declines up to 510. Keep a stop loss of 500 and a positional target of 535 to 540 can be seen.
When the whole day passes like a blur, the news just whizzes past, and you're trying to stay informed. It is our job to bring you news that truly matters. At Profit 360, we cut through the clutter, the large street deals, finance and policy news that could shape your tomorrow. The newsmakers, the trendsetters, and the innovators. In 30 minutes, we've got you covered. So stay ahead, stay informed, and stay profitable with Profit 360.
Headlines you start your day with. What matters worldwide is now in the palm of your hands. Get ready to seize the day and maximize your financial potential. Stay ahead of the curve with all you need to know on NDTV Profit.
When the whole day passes like a blur, the news just whizzes past, and you're trying to stay informed. It is our job to bring you news that truly matters. At Profit 360, we cut through the clutter, the large street deals, finance and policy news that could shape your tomorrow. The newsmakers, the trendsetters, and the innovators. In 30 minutes, we've got you covered. So stay ahead, stay informed, and stay profitable with Profit 360.
Headlines you start your day with. What matters worldwide is now in the palm of your hands. Get ready to seize the day and maximize your financial potential. Stay ahead of the curve with all you need to know on NDTV Profit.
When the whole day passes like a blur, the news just whizzes past, and you're trying to stay informed. It is our job to bring you news that truly matters. At Profit 360, we cut through the clutter, the large street deals, finance and policy news that could shape your tomorrow. The newsmakers, the trendsetters, and the innovators. In 30 minutes, we've got you covered. So stay ahead, stay informed, and stay profitable with Profit 360.
Headlines you start your day with. What matters worldwide is now in the palm of your hands. Get ready to seize the day and maximize your financial potential. Stay ahead of the curve with all you need to know on NDTV Profit.
When the whole day passes like a blur, the news just whizzes past, and you're trying to stay informed. It is our job to bring you news that truly matters. At Profit 360, we cut through the clutter, the large street deals, finance and policy news that could shape your tomorrow. The newsmakers, the trendsetters, and the innovators. In 30 minutes, we've got you covered. So stay ahead, stay informed and stay profitable with Profit 360.
Headlines you start your day with. What matters worldwide is now in the palm of your hands. Get ready to seize the day and maximize your financial potential. Stay ahead of the curve with all you need to know on NDTV Profit.
When the whole day passes like a blur, the news just whizzes past, and you're trying to stay informed. It is our job to bring you news that truly matters. At Profit 360, we cut through the clutter, the Wall Street deals, finance and policy news that could shape your tomorrow, the newsmakers, the trendsetters, and the innovators. In 30 minutes, we've got you covered. So stay ahead, stay informed, and stay profitable with Profit 360.
Headlines you start your day with.
Welcome back. You're watching Ask Profit on NDTV Profit, and this show gets you answers to all of your stock-related questions. We've thrown open the phone lines over the last few days, and we've had the opportunity to speak to a few of you. I've been very, very happy with the kind of questions that we've gotten so far. Let's see if Ram from Chennai has got a similar question. Ram, thanks so much for holding the line, and thanks so much for calling me this morning. How can we help you? You have an investment in IndusInd Bank, right?
Yeah, thank you so much for this program, and his on-call is really helping. I've been watching this program with WhatsApp for almost a month now. It's very helpful for a layman like us who is trying to learn. So you are giving very valuable information for investors like us.
I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, so on the IndusInd Bank, yes, I bought it mid last year, wherein the private sector banks were doing good, like along with the KVB and this and City Union. With a long-term perspective. And now, off late, I'm seeing that, a lot of public sector is picking up while private sector is lagging. So what is the strategy that I should do here? Should I hold this IndusInd Bank with a long term of 1 year plus or average it or exit?
Okay. Ram, just a few follow-up questions so I can understand why you have picked up IndusInd Bank. This is based on the fundamentals that you have chosen to buy IndusInd Bank?
Yes, it was. Like last year mid, it was prior to the election results. It was really with the deposit ratio and the loan ratio were really good. So considering that, I've invested in this along with a few others like IDFC First and Karur Vysya Bank.
Got it. Understood. Samir, I'll come to you on the fundamentals then. He's bought at levels of 1,140. The stock is currently trading just above that 1,000 mark. But off late, you've seen a little bit of trouble on the loan book side in terms of delinquencies, and IndusInd Bank has not been able to miss out on that or remain unscathed in that. So would you say that he should continue holding or are there better plays? He already has IDFC First. If I remember correctly, you like IDFC First. I'm not sure if I'm right.
You're absolutely right, Alex. I like IDFC First, but I also like IndusInd Bank, right? So let's be honest, IndusInd Bank has not had that much of a rise of NPA that, the street has hammered the stock down by over 40%. And I think in the last, not 40, maybe 30% in the last, say 2 months. Now, where the problem lies for them is they have reduced their loans towards the microfinance segment, which is the high yielding book for IndusInd Bank. That is the Bharat Financial side book, right? So when that happens, your higher yielding interest earning assets go down, your NIMs compress, and which is what happened in the current quarter. What they have also done is they've taken an enabling provision for any risk to the microfinance book that could arise over the next 3 to 6 months. so that they don't have to provide aggressively when the actual loans may turn default. They not necessarily they will, but they could. So they've taken a bit of provision. Now, the street obviously didn't like that. They didn't like the fact that the NIMs have come under pressure, because that means the guidance that the management had given obviously will not get met. So I agree that yes, a correction could have come, but not maybe this large. I believe the microfinance business will continue to grow over time. It'll take another 3 months, maybe another 6 months before it bottoms out and stabilizes and bottoms out. But you got to remember that IndusInd Bank is not only a microfinance lender. They're also lending to other businesses. They have housing finance loans. They have the jewelry business where they give a lot of loans. They have the auto vehicle financing, which is the biggest part of that portfolio, which is continuing to grow. So look, they will be able to scale up some of the other businesses, although this part of the business may struggle. So for me, it is a buy. The valuations are very, very attractive. Disclaimer, I have been buying at these falls. So maybe there is a slight bias, but I am very, very positive. I think somebody should hold on to IndusInd Bank. Now, coming to the second part of the question which you asked, Alex, is IDFC one of my topics? It is my topic in the mid-cap banking space because of the growth that they're able to do, not only in deposits, but also in the loan book. And they are very, very aggressive in provisioning. So, they have provided there's a certain part of the book that is a little overdue. They have provided 90% of that as provisions in the last quarter. So even if they turn NPA, he's more or less done with all the provision that he needs to do. So now what you're going to see is profitability increase. And if those don't turn into NPAs, he's going to be able to write all of that back. So according to me, IDFC First Bank valuations, again, very attractive. So both of them are a buy. But since the question was predominantly on IndusInd Bank, I say hold on and buy an average whenever you can.
Yeah. A good thing is that he holds both, Samir. So point well taken. Ram, hopefully that answers your question. We've got a quick question that I want to take from WhatsApp, and this one's for you, Vaishali, on HAL, Hindustan Aeronautics. And quite a few of the defense stocks are up and about in trade today. Sarita from Hyderabad has bought at levels of 4,556. She's got 34 shares, and she's wondering whether to sell at this price because she's seeing a bit of a loss, not too much, as these things go, but she's looking for a stop loss as well.
If you are a trader, of course, you need to check the levels minutely. Currently, what we are seeing, it has seen a good run up right from 4,000 levels to now. So technically, I would say there is a resistance at 44.70. But once we see the stock moving above that, I think it's ready for further higher targets to 4,600 and 4,800. So depending on your time horizon, one may take a call. And as far as the stop loss is concerned, well, it comes pretty low, 43.20. So that is the near-term stop loss. So hold with a stop loss of this. And I would say actually overall full defense sector, call it BEL, BHEL, HAL, in fact, even the Garden Reach and Cochin and Mazgaon, they are all doing very well. I would say these are the stocks that one should keep in their portfolio for a longer term perspective.
All right. And as you pointed out, the entire space is buzzing today. I promised one of our callers, I can't remember exactly who, but I said that we would look at NetWeb Technologies because we've got a question from Chandan and he managed to get allocation at IPO stage and the stock has done pretty well. It's gained quite substantially from that point. Hopefully, Samir has a view on this. Samir, the question is, would you take money off the table if you've got an allocation?
Sorry, I don't have coverage on phone, so I request you take it to a technical.
Do you have enough to talk about this, Vaishali? NetWeb Technologies currently? Do. Yeah, okay.
Yes, in fact, today there is substantially a good volume. I would say hold with today's low as stop loss, and I think it's in all likelihood it's ready for. It did make an attempt for a breakout, so it's ready for a breakout. And if it sustains at about 3,000 levels, this could probably go to 3,200 also. So keep today's low as stop loss and continue holding. There is nothing wrong with the chart. In fact, it's above all the cluster of moving averages. So right now it's showing strength.
I believe we've got a caller from Chennai. Bhaskaran is joining in. Bhaskaran, good morning to you. I believe you've got a question in the banking space.
Yes, good morning. Among the Canara Bank and Indian Bank, which one is better for the region of 1 year?
For 1 year, okay. And you haven't bought either of these right now, right? Just clarify.
Yes, both I am holding. Both I am having. I wanted to invest some more in among these two.
Understood. Okay. So let me take your question, Bhaskaran, to Vaishali on the charts. He's holding both of them, as he's pointed out. I do not know exactly what price, but the question effectively is, if you were to deploy more at this stage, which of those two would you pick?
So, well, I would say overall, full PSU banking sector has shown good corrective move. And chartically, if you ask me, both are on similar pattern. So I would say, well, distribute your stocks in both, money in both these stocks. And once the PSU sector starts moving, you will see rotational move coming in almost all these stocks. So I would say my view would be to add more in both.
Add more in both. All right, that's a view. VLE Governance and IT Solutions is the name of the counter that we're looking at. Unfortunately, it's a very small company. Market capitalization of 1,600 crore rupees. And Harjeet has got a question. Harjeet has bought at a price of, oh no, not even giving me the price, of 400 shares. Any chance you have a view on this, Samir?
Sorry, again, no coverage on this one.
Do you have enough to talk to us about this, Vaishali, on the charts?
Sorry, come again. It is, you said VLE GOV, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's gained quite substantially in the year to date, as much as 132%.
I would say keep a trailing stop loss. Right now it is getting into a consolidation. We saw some profit booking. So the near-term stop loss which one can look at is 145. If it goes below that, then it can get into a negative territory. But the range right now would be 160 as resistance and 145 as stop loss. So either ways, the view gets decided. If it goes above 158, 160, it's ready for further up move. But if 145 levels break, then it's time to exit for some time.
Okay. We've got another caller from Hyderabad. Shweta is joining in. Shweta, good morning to you. I believe you want to know about the railway space?
Yeah. Good morning. Very good morning.
What specific? Good morning.
Yeah.
So what specifically would you want to know?
Yeah, actually I bought all the Titagra, Texmaco, Jupiter wagons. All of them are around 25 to 30% loss. I'm holding them. As I can see, again they have started picking up. Should I wait till I cover my losses, or where can I exit and book little losses?
Okay. Just a clarification, Shweta. When you bought it, did you think that you would hold it only for a short time, or did you buy it based on the fundamentals of the stock?
Actually both.
Okay.
Because as I can see huge development in the railway sector right now.
Yeah.
So, and the order book of all these three stocks is very good.
Yeah. So,
and I think the momentum is also very good when I bought them. But as you know, suddenly all the stocks took a hit. So
yes.
I just want to know whether they can recover all the losses, 25 to 30%.
Yeah.
Can we see upside from now? Or should I book losses?
And just a quick clarification, if the advice to you were to be to hold, how long can you hold it for?
Maybe probably 1 year I can hold. No problem.
1 year you can hold. All right. So Samir, it's a tough question for you. Whether or not a recovery of 30% is possible, not necessarily a tough question for you. You probably have an easy answer to this, but more to do with the stocks that she's invested in. Maybe a tough ask, would you say, 30-35% in a year's time?
Yeah, I think it's a very tough ask to get that kind of recovery, if you ask me. Look, we do not deny the fact that the whole railway push by the government of India is seeing a lot of traction. You're seeing order flows very strong, or good order books for these companies. Execution for the next 2-3 years is comfortable. And going forward, also, we believe that a lot of these companies, maybe for the next 5 years, will have no problem with order inflow and execution of a lot of these things. But the problem is valuations had run up far ahead of what fundamentals justify. So it's more important now for the earnings catch up to happen, which will take a year's time plus. So you'll see operational efficiencies for all of these companies come in, because as the volume uptake happens, the gross margins, which are quite strong, will eventually start trickling down into the profitability. So I'm not denying the fact that it's good, but if you're asking me, am I going to get a 35% upside in any of these counters which are trading at about anywhere between 40 to 50 times earnings? Very difficult for a fundamental analyst to say, yes, it's going to happen. So for me, although the person is making a loss, I think there are better opportunities where valuation comforts are slightly better. You could probably consider booking a loss for the time being and entering these stocks when they correct a little bit more. because I'm expecting the valuations to come off a little further as well. We already know that government spending has been a little slow in the first half, which is expected to pick up in the second half. If it doesn't pick up on the railway side to the extent that we are expecting, maybe then you could see the stocks coming off. So I would say at the moment, one can book some amount of loss and maybe find something else. But would I expect a 30% return? No, I don't.
Okay. Do remember, from a tax perspective, it's not always a bad idea for you to take a loss sometimes. You can actually set that off against capital gain if you do book that, and there's quite a bit of that. We can take that up at a later date. But let me get to the next question. It's on Vodafone Idea, and this is a question coming in from Satesh, who's writing in from Puducherry, I should say. He's bought at levels of 11.18 rupees per share, and he's holding as much as 25,000 shares. This is a tendency to buy a significant quantity of a relatively low ticket price share. But Vaishali, on the charts, he's already undergoing quite a bit of loss despite the kind of recovery that you saw in trade yesterday. Would you say that he should hold on?
I would not think so, because actually it's in a downward trajectory. And well, with yesterday's gap up opening, I would say just take a chance, because now that he's holding, continue holding. Exit around 859 rupees, because I don't see much of a trend coming in over here.
Okay, Satish, so that was Satish's question. Amara Raja Batteries is a question that is coming in from Mr. G.S. Dutt, who's writing in from Eluru in Andhra Pradesh. He's looking for a short to medium term outlook. He's bought at a price of 1,270 just a few days back, and he's looking for a technical view. Vaishali, on the charts, how does it look?
Also recommended Exide and Amara Raja also. So I think they are both on a similar pattern. And I think now that auto industry is totally going down, good correction coming in. But these are the levels I think market is showing signs of stability to start accumulating.
Okay, all right. So that's the view on Amara Raja as well as Exide as well. Kumar from Chennai is joining us on the phone line. Kumar, good morning to you. And the question is about Ujjivan Small Finance Bank. Is that right?
Yeah, correct.
Go ahead. What do you want to know about it?
Yeah, so I bought this stock considering the tactical thing. Banking sector is at a valuable, the valuation is really nice. So I want to know what is the technical level for the next 6 months to 1 year time period for Ujjivan, and it's also available near the book value. So that was the logic behind getting into the stock.
Understood. So your time frame is 1 year, correct?
Correct.
Okay, and are you planning to hold this, or are you planning to add more at this current price?
No, I'm planning to hold this.
Okay. So you've got 500 shares. Let me go across to Vaishali to get your technical view for Ujjivan Small Finance Bank for 1 year perspective. Bought at levels of 40, given up a little bit of ground from that point, now at 33. Vaishali, would you hold on?
I would personally say shift to the frontline good stocks like, in fact, Kotak Bank or HDFC or SBI, because those are really giving us a hard time, giving us good returns at this juncture. So I think can be a miss at these levels.
Okay, and HDFC Bank already has recovered, in fact. Ola Electric is the next counter that we're talking about. Ajit is asking about this. He's bought at elevated levels at 120 or thereabouts. He's got 1,000 shares. He's got a holding period that he anticipates will be about a year or so. Ground to recover, but is that possible on the charts? Vaishali, do you have enough data to talk about this?
Yes, quite a bit actually. I would say that the stock saw a good beating. 70 is the level where it has been showing a cluster of support. And today we are seeing an exceptionally high volume. So I guess very gradual. The near-term resistance would come at around 90 to 110. Above that, once again, we are ready to see 120. So I said now that if he's holding on for so long, continue holding.
Pradeep Kumar is joining in from Kerala, and he's asking about Cochin Shipyard. Pradeep, what was the reason why you bought into this counter? Is it fundamental? And you didn't like any of the other shipbuilders?
Good morning. First, I really appreciate you, NDTV. You guys giving really very, very helpful advice and everything. Thanks to you first.
Thank you so much, Pradeep.
And my question actually, I saw the last 4 days. In the Cochin Shipyard is going to most of the upper circuit.
Yes.
So I believe that's still going up. I don't know in the future. Of course, I believe positive thoughts in that about the Cochin shipyard. And I have Masadok also. I keep him Masadok. Some PUC sector.
Okay.
And some another sector.
Okay, so but Cochin shipyard, I'm just curious. What do you want to know? Do you want to know whether to exit at this point? What is the time frame that you have in mind?
I don't really want to exit from the right position because I saw some, there is a lot of fake news coming in the online media, and they say it's going to be 100%, and Indian share markets, everything going to up soon. Yeah, I believe it's soon. But my question, is it the bearish trend is going up Indian market? That's the first question. No, I mean it's not question. The Cochin shipyard, what is the future?
Okay, got it. I got your question. Pradeep, thanks so much for your kind wishes and for talking to me this morning. Pleasure having you on the program. Vaishali, what's the view on this one? Because like he's pointed out, it's been gaining quite substantially. It's up and about in trade today as well. What are the charts indicating as to how far it can go right now?
I think all these stocks, as we mentioned just during the beginning of our talks, Cochin Shipyard, Mazgaon, they are all showing signs of revival once again. So I would say, well, continue holding. In near terms perspective, 1650 to 1700 can be the target. And if a longer term perspective, if time is not the problem, continue holding, you'll get much higher returns because overall the trend has been very strong. We saw very good retracement and it's showing signs of reversal.
Okay, all right. NHPC, I'm going to take this very quickly. You've already given a view, Samir, on IDFC First Bank, and you're positive on that. It's your top mid-cap pick. So, Phanindra, you should know that Samir is very positive on this. But what's the view on NHPC? Would you suggest a fresh buy at this level?
Yeah, one could take a call and probably initiate, start accumulating it. We have seen a decent correction from the highs. It's a company that is into, again, renewable energy, but more on the hydropower side, which is also growing its capacity, which will, of course, take time. It's more capital intensive, more long-term gestation. They are also going to be doing some amount of solar power plants. And also, it is a much smaller size compared to what an NTPC power is. But I believe that this is a company also that will sit to grow. Operational efficiencies, profitability will increase. So one can make an investment with a target price of maybe 110 from a 1 year perspective.
Okay, I believe we've got Sanjay who's calling us from Gujarat. Sanjay, good morning to you and thanks so much for calling us. What can we help you with today?
Yes, I have Bank of Baroda from the COVID time.
Right.
And that my average purchase is 51.17 rupees. 51.17, 51.17.
Okay, understood. And so you are looking at holding this for the long term and you just want to know whether or not you should do so, or whether you should book profit. Is that right?
No. I want to book partial profit or not at that time, but I want to hold the long term.
Long term. And you want to know whether this is the best investment to make or whether there are other opportunities available.
Right. Best investment to stock hold or not.
Okay, understood. Samir, you've already given a view on quite a few of the banking names. Bank of Baroda bought during COVID time, so a substantial amount of gains being made here. It's phenomenal. I mean, I'm practically speechless. But would you say you should take some money off the table? Are there better opportunities, faster growth in the banking space?
So there is faster growth in the banking space in the private sector banks. We discussed IDFC. I told you invest in HDFC remains my top pick in the large cap banking space from a long-term perspective. But should you sell Bank of Baroda? No, I don't think so. Look, it's trading at about 1x book value. The bank is growing. The deposit base is growing. I believe these PSU banks could probably look at a re-rating. We've seen a bit of a correction recently because of some amount of negative news flow, first of all, with government coming. I mean, the government saying that insurance products should not be missold by these banks, which has been happening. So maybe that some amount of sales slows down there that could hurt in the near-term profitability. But eventually, I believe these are good businesses, strong businesses, which will grow. I say hold on to it. If you have additional capital, look at private banks. I think the growth will be faster, returns will be better. But this is a safe investment which should continue to grow. So hold on.
I believe we've got Arjit and Amit also on the phone line. Unfortunately, guys, we're completely out of time on this edition of Ask Profit. And hopefully what we've discussed so far with Samir as well as Vaishali is going to help you out. On that note, Samir and Vaishali, let me thank you. Thank you so much for taking the time and speaking to us as always on Ask Profit. Always a pleasure hosting you on this program. That brings us, as I said, to the end of this edition of Ask Profit. Do stay tuned. Lots more coming up over the course of the day. And this is NDTV Profit.
Laurus Labs has seen very aggressive fresh longs on Friday. It has given a very good breakout on intraday charts as well. Plus, there's an option chain breakout above 500 level. So one can buy Laurus Labs on any small declines up to 510, keep a stop loss of 500 and a positional target of 535 to 540 can be seen.
When the whole day passes like a blur, the news just whizzes past, and you're trying to stay informed. It is our job to bring you news that truly matters. At Profit 360, we cut through the clutter, the Wall Street deals, finance and policy news that could shape your tomorrow. The newsmakers, the trendsetters, and the innovators. In 30 minutes, we've got you covered. So stay ahead, stay informed, and stay profitable with Profit 360.
Headlines you start your day with. What matters worldwide is now in the palm of your hands. Get ready to seize the day and maximize your financial potential. Stay ahead of the curve with all you need to know on NDTV Profit.
When the whole day passes like a blur, the news just whizzes past, and you're trying to stay informed. It is our job to bring you news that truly matters. At Profit 360, we cut through the clutter, the Wall Street deals, finance and policy news that could shape your tomorrow. The newsmakers, the trendsetters, and the innovators. In 30 minutes, we've got you covered. So stay ahead, stay informed, and stay profitable with Profit 360.
Headlines you start your day with. What matters worldwide is now in the palm of your hands. Get ready to seize the day and maximize your financial potential. Stay ahead of the curve with all you need to know on NDTV Profit.
When the whole day passes like a blur, the news just whizzes past, and you're trying to stay informed. It is our job to bring you news that truly matters. At Profit 360, we cut through the clutter, the Wall Street deals, finance and policy news that could shape your tomorrow. The newsmakers, the trendsetters, and the innovators. In 30 minutes, we've got you covered. So stay ahead, stay informed, and stay profitable with Profit 360.
Headlines you start your day with. What matters worldwide is now in the palm of your hands. Get ready to seize the day and maximize your financial potential. Stay ahead of the curve with all you need to know on NDTV Profit.
When the whole day passes like a blur, the news just whizzes past, and you're trying to stay informed. It is our job to bring you news that truly matters. Profit 360, we cut through the clutter. The Wall Street deals, finance and policy news that could shape your tomorrow. The newsmakers, the trend